Hello everyone, welcome to part 3 of this Python full course by DataSense. I hope you are having a good time. You understood lists and you understood tuples. If you have not understood anything or you have some doubts, please feel free to text us on our WhatsApp group on DM, or you can comment on our any of YouTube video. So we will move forward here, take forward our discussion, right? Today's session is about dictionaries. So this is the third data structure in Python, but I personally consider it to be the most important data structure that is present in Python because it has got the most use case. So I will suggest please watch this video completely because this is the most important data structure which is present, which you will be heavily using. So let's move forward with the discussion. So let's first understand what is a dictionary, right? So we all know that dictionary, if I just relate to a real world example, right? Dictionary, you remember those small English books which had like lot of pages. There will be words, and there will be meanings, right? So those kind of dictionary, we all have seen that. Okay, this is a concept taken from there only, that's why it is named as dictionary. So what happens that so far we have seen that list. What is list? In list we have we use square brackets and we put whatever numbers we get directly here. Okay, maybe A, comma B, comma C. In tuples what we do, we take any number and we put into this bracket and 1, 2, 3. These type of placing we do. Now comes dictionary. So remember, in list and tuple the order matters. Order of element matters because they are at different indexes, so order matters in a list and tuples. Now comes the third part, that is dictionary. So what is dictionary? Dictionary is nothing but it is just a repository of elements where it has two things. It has a key and it has a value. So it is a combination of this thing. And dictionary is presented using this flower braces, or you can say curly braces. So what happens in a dictionary that let me show you an example right now. So let me first remove this. Okay, so what is a dictionary? In dictionary what we do is so let's say there is a dictionary C will be equal to, so it will have a key value pair. So for example, let's say it will have a key 1. Okay, key 1, and it will have like this, and corresponding to this it will have that value. For example, let's say key 1 you can put anything. Let's say key 1 is 2001. Okay, then it will have key 2, and it will have value, let's say 2002. Okay, so what is happening here that we have, just like in dictionary, we have a word and we have its meaning. So here technically this is not its meaning, this is a kind of how variables are stored in dictionary. So I will show you this particular example. So this is a JSON file. So let me just walk you through this. So for example, this is a JSON file, right? Dictionaries have most use in JSON file. So if you see, this is a dictionary where there is a first name and the first name's value is Joe. Then there is last name, its value is Jackson. Then there is gender, its value is male. So that's how data is entered in a dictionary. So let's relate it to a relational database. So in a relational database we have let's say 5 columns. Let's say name, last name, gender, address. So how do we place value in a relational database? That okay, we have columns like this, and then we will have values in rows. For example, row number 1 will have some value, row number 2 will have some value. So this is how things are placed in relational database, and this is how it is placed in a dictionary, or this is a type of JSON file. right? So that's what dictionary is. Just let me refresh. Just let me restart it. So let me clear the board. Okay. So so coming again now, dictionary is unordered. So here order does not matter. So first of all, this is unordered. So it doesn't matter if your key 1 is coming first, your key 2 is coming last. It does not matter. For example, let's say this is a dictionary. So let's say this is key 1, its value is something 1001. Then there is key 2, its value is 1002, right? So it doesn't matter in which order they come. So this is equivalent to let's say if I change the order, if I put K2 1002 and K1 1001, because here indexes are not, the concept of index is not there. Like in list and tuples we used to have 0, 1. That concept does not work here. So this is the first property I will say. So it has a, as I mentioned, it has lot of entries. So there is a key value and there is a key and there is a value. So the main thing is that if I talk about is key in any dictionary, your keys should be unique. Your keys should be unique. So I will talk about these things with the example also, but I'm just telling you the overall structure. So keys should be unique. So it cannot be that in a dictionary you are having 2 keys with 2 different values, right? So it will take only one. It will take only one. So this is the one thing. Second thing is this key and value, they can take any data type. So key and value, they can be they can be numbers, they can be strings, they can be list or tuples, they can be anything. They can be a list or they can be tuples, they can be anything. Okay, so this is a basic introduction of dictionary. I will say now we will move towards a practical implementation where I show you how to create a dictionary and all that. But this is just a theoretical value, and remember this is very useful, especially because when we use the non-relational database, for example the NoSQL databases, when we use, for example, let's say it is MongoDB. MongoDB, it is purely based on this JSON database, MongoDB. Then there is Cassandra. And then there is Couchbase. Whatever your web data is there, clickstream data, everything is stored in this format. As I told, relational databases are only 20 to 30%. All other data are mostly in JSON files. So you should know this particular dictionary very well. So yeah, so now I'll move to a practical implementation of dictionaries. So before moving ahead, let's discuss what all are we covering in today's video. So we just had an introduction of dictionary, right? That what is dictionary, where do we use it, and how it is, what are its attributes. If you didn't understand, it's totally fine. I'll be covering everything with examples. Now after this, I will talk about how to create a dictionary, right? How do we create a dictionary? So from basics. So there are multiple methods to create dictionary. After creating dictionary, I will talk about how to access a dictionary. Just like we used to do in list and tuples, that okay, we have created a data structure now. Now how do I access the elements inside a dictionary or a key? Okay, so after this, after accessing, we'll learn about how to modify the dictionary elements. Okay, if I have to modify some elements in a dictionary, how can we do that? And next we will talk about some methods, because see, dictionary is a class, is an object. Dictionary is a class. It will have an instance, and that instance or object will have a method. So what all methods are available inside a dictionary? So that we will talk about. Then we'll talk about iterating over dictionary, that how can we iterate over dictionary, various method. And after that, the iterating, we'll talk about nested dictionary. What does it mean by nested dictionary? Nested means dictionary inside dictionary. So that is the meaning of nested. And after that, we will do some just like we had list comprehension, we will do dictionary comprehension. comprehension. So we will do this particular part, and at last we will do some examples. So so these 9 topics are there in this video. Okay, we are done with the first part, so let's move to how to create a dictionary. Okay, so how to create a dictionary, let's discuss that particular part. So again, to create a dictionary, as just like we did in tuples and lists, there can be multiple methods. First is you create an empty dictionary. Okay, and how do you create an empty dictionary? You just pass something like this. Okay, so for tuples we use this, for list we use this, and for dictionary we just need to pass this. Then second method is directly passing values. So one is this method, how to create dictionary, and third is using the dict keyword. So there's a dict keyword, and using that we can convert anything into a dictionary, or we can pass on a dictionary. So this is what we are going to talk about. Now let's first of all move to the workbook that we are having. So as I mentioned, this is the introduction. So we are going to cover these 9 topics. Right now we are at creating dictionary. So how to create an empty dictionary. So let's look at there. So if you see, so let's go there. So what we do, let's say we have to create an empty dictionary. Okay, so I create, let's say, an empty underscore dict. Okay, let's say I create an empty dictionary and I name it like this. So this is the curly braces, or you can say flower braces. Now if I run this, now I need to check the type of it. So let me check type of empty and underscore dict. Okay, so let me run this. So it is giving me dict. It means it's a dictionary. Now let me do one more thing, print type of dict. So it will give me tell me that okay, this belongs to class of dictionary. Okay, so this is how you create your first basic. This is exactly what we have done here as well. You take an empty dictionary and you can parallelly create it. Okay, so let's talk about building a new. Let's talk about building a new dictionary. So for example, so let's use the same example that we are using here. Okay, so let's say we have to put some student information. So student underscore info. Okay, student underscore info. Okay, and now we put the curly braces, or we can say the flower braces on. My first key is, let's say, name. So I'll pass it as name, and I'll put the value, because name is a string, so we need to pass it in a in inverted code. So for, let's say, I write down Rohan. So this becomes my first value of my key. Now let's pass the second key. So what can be the second key? So there is a name. Now let's call it age. So let's call the second value to be age. Okay, and let's say second value, because age can be a numeric, let's make it 30. Okay, so now we have passed the age. Now we have to pass one more metric. So let's say we say that okay, to which class does he belong. So this class is different, not the one in Python. So let's say we say that he belongs to class 12. Okay, and we close this dictionary and just print it. Okay, now let me try to show you what comes when I print student info. So when we print student info, I get name, age, and class. So this is what dictionary is showing. So what you enter, you have a key one. So you have 3 keys. So your one key is name. So what are your keys? So your keys are name, age, and class. Okay, and what are your values corresponding to these? Your values are Rohan, your values is 30, and your value are 12. Okay, so this is what. So this was the second method that we just saw to how to create a dictionary. First was using empty dict, and third was basically passing the values actually in the curly braces. Now let's talk about the third method. So what is the third method? There you directly use a tuple and you basically pass the value to it. So let me show you. So what we will do in the third method, that instead of creating a dictionary method, what we will do, we will simply pass a tuple and we'll use the dict keyword and we will simply pass value. For example, let's say K1. k1 equal to something, let's say value 1, okay, and similarly k2 equal to something, and like this we will enter. We'll pass a tuple, dict keyword will automatically convert it into a dictionary. So let's see how it is created. So for example, here we have cricket info, for example. Okay, now this is equal to dict, so I'll pass the dict keyword. Now what is my first value? So let's say my first value is name, it is equal to Kohli, okay. Now second value is runs, equal to let's say 14,000, and third value will be equal to country, that will be equal to India. Okay, so this is how it is created. Now if I just run this, now let me print cricket underscore info, right? So I got a dictionary like this. So you have to see that there is a difference between the three methods, right? It is not the same. In the first method we just used, so in the first method we just used a simple placeholder with curly braces and it converted into dictionary. In the second method we actually pass the value, so instead of passing an empty, we actually pass the values. For example, let's say k1 equal to something, equal to let's say something, then k2 equal to something, and so on. So here in both these methods we use curly braces. The third method where we are using dict, there we are not using the curly braces, we are just using dict and we are passing a tuple. We can also pass a list as well, okay. And here we are not using equal to sign, so here we were using semicolon sign. Here we will just use k1 equal to something, let's say v1, then we'll pass k2 is equal to v2, and then we'll pass k3 equal to v3. So this difference is that here we are using tuples and also we are using this equal to sign. Here we were simply using this semicolons like this. So this is the difference between the three methods on how you create basically how you create a dictionary. Okay, now if I just again I do type, so type of cricket info, it will give me a dictionary. Of course it will give me a dictionary. So yeah, it's a dict method. So these are the three methods using which you can create dictionary. You can try on your own with whatever method works for you. Okay, now we'll move forward how do we access elements in a dictionary. Okay, so now we are here to discuss the second part, the third part, that is how to access the elements in a dictionary. Okay, how to access the elements in a dictionary. For example, let's say I have a dictionary D which is equal to let me create a dictionary. So it has k1 to be 1000, it has k2 to be 2000, and it has k3 to be 3000. So let's say I have this dictionary. Now I want to call my elements. Remember, in dictionary we don't have the concept of 0, 1, 2 index, so we cannot do like D0. If I do something like this, it will throw me error. So let me show you that first of all. So let's say we had this particular dictionary from previous cricket info, right? So if I do cricket underscore info and then I do let's say 0, it will give me an error, key error, because there's nothing like we do not address things like this in dictionary. So how to access the element? So what you need to do, you need to pass the D keyword, like whatever your object name is, in the braces. You need to pass in inverted quotes the key value, the key name. For example, let's say I want k1. Okay, so it will return me 1000. If I do dk2, it will return me 2000. Okay, so this is how you actually access the elements in a dictionary. So let's do that here. So for example, let's say we have this cricket. So let me just print. So let me just delete few things because it might get little. Okay, so let me just delete these things. Okay, let's do print cricket underscore info. Okay, now if I do this, I see this is the dictionary. Now let's say I want to call cricket underscore info. So what I will do, I will play this and then I will use the first key, that is name. Okay, if I do this, it will return me the value related to key. So this is how you will fetch the elements. Now, let's try without using inverted quotes. So let's see what comes. Let's say if I don't use the inverted quotes, I'll get an error because name is not defined. So the key value you need to pass in inverted quotes always. Okay, so this is how it will do. Now let's say you do runs. So for example, you have this as runs. Okay, so you'll get it. So this is how things are defined. So apart from this, so this is how you are actually fetching elements. Now one catch to this is, for example, let's say you do cricket underscore info. Let's say you use a key which is not present. For example, I see name, runs, country. So let's say I use some key, for example, age, which is not here. Okay, so if I run this thing, what it will give me an error. It will give, because this age is not existing here. Okay, so using this method to call dictionary can sometimes introduce error, because if that key is not present. What I will ideally want that, okay, if I enter a key which is not present, for example age, it should return me a blank or something else. For that we use get function. So let's see, this is my name for the student info, and I pass the name and pass the age, I got the value. Now the next thing is we can use .get method. Okay, and we just specify that if this element is not present, what should be the value. So for example, let me show you. So let's say this is C is equal to cricket underscore info dot get. Okay, so this is, we use .info .get, something like this. Okay, now we use the brackets, and first of all what we need to pass, let's say I want to check for age. So what I will do, age. Okay, and then I'll provide the value I want to display if something is not found. Unknown. Okay, now if I print C, let's see what comes. Unknown. Why? Because this age is not present there. If I use, for example, let's say name here, which was present in the list, then it will not give unknown, it will give me 𝐏𝐲𝐿𝐼 because it is present there. So we use this get method sometimes if you have to fetch elements from a dictionary. So that's what we have done here. For example, in this dictionary, we have name, we have age, and we have major. Okay, what we are doing is that, okay, major, if it is not present, then provide unknown, and GPA, if it is not present, provide not specified. And when we run it, so okay, so let me run this code first because I didn't run this. Okay, now let's say I ran this. Now when I will run this particular code, I see that for major I have computer science present in my student info. Okay, so let's remove this employee info. Let's just focus on student info. Okay, so my student info dictionary has name, age, and major. And when I am using student info to get major, it will return me computer science. But GPA is not present in there. So what I have done, using get method, I specified, okay, if you don't find GPA, provide not specified. And when we print this, we see this result, not specified. So this is how you basically access element from a dictionary. You either provide key, or you either use the get method. You use the get method to fetch elements from a dictionary. So please keep this in mind, and I'll move forward now. So now we move to the next part, that is, I will say, modifying dictionary elements. So modifying dictionary elements. So remember that dictionary is mutable. That means we can add or replace things in a dictionary. This is very important to know. So far only tuple is immutable, dictionary is also mutable. So what all methods are we going to discuss? First of all, we are going to discuss how to add an element or a key value pair in a dictionary, how to add a key value pair in a dictionary, Okay, and how to remove an element from a dictionary. Okay, so this will how to remove element from a dictionary. These two things we are going to discuss. So let's move ahead with adding a key value pair in a dictionary. So it's a very simple, straightforward method that we will be using. So for example, let us say we have a dictionary D is equal to K1 1000, K2 2000, K3 again it is 3000. Okay, now let's say I want to add a K4. So what will I do? I will simply do D K4 equal to 4000, and when I run this and when I print the dictionary, K4 4000 will be automatically added in the list. So this is the method how you add anything in dictionary, and this is called mutability, that you can add things in your dictionary. For example, let's go to this same Virat Kohli example, that we have cricket info. Now let's say I print cricket. Let me see what is this dictionary right now. Cricket underscore info. So right now we have these many. Now let's say I want to add a age to this. So what I will do, cricket underscore info age. So let's say I add age in square brackets, and let's say I pass that age to be 38. Okay, and now I run this code. Now if I have to print now let's say print cricket underscore info. So I will see that this element will be added to dictionary, right? If you see age 38 is added to dictionary. So that's how you add. This is called mutability. Now let's check our example as well. For example, let's say we are this modifying dictionary elements. We are adding, you can add a new key value pairs to dictionary or update value. So either you can update or you can add. You can do both. So you just need to use this particular format, and you just adding a new. So use the name of dictionary, then use the key value name inside a square bracket with curly brace with inverted commas, and you provide the value. Same with updating or adding. So that is how you basically remove. So you basically add anything. Now we'll move to how do you remove things, right? We have already seen this in list. So how do you remove any particular element from a dictionary? So let us say we have to remove things. So it's pretty simple. Again, there are two methods. First is delete keyword, and second is pop keyword. In delete keyword, what you need to do, you need to just for example del and the dictionary name, and you need to just provide the key value, for example K1, and it will remove it. And in the pop also you need to just provide the pop value and the key and the value. So let's see it. For example, let's say we have this cricket info now. Now I want to remove the age. So what I will do, del, then cricket underscore info, and I will pass the value age. So age is the key that I want to remove. Okay. Now if I print cricket underscore info, I will see age getting removed from there, right? So age is removed from this. So this is the first method of removing any element from a dictionary, any key value pair if you want to remove. So this was the first method. Let's check our example as well. So what we did here, we have to use the delete statement. So del, the name of the dictionary and the key. So remember, you cannot remove by passing the value. So for example, let's say if I did here that so let me show you. For example, let me add first let me add the age. So let me add the age. Okay, now if I try to do something like this, that delete what was his let's say I try to delete Kohli. Okay, so it will say I did not find anything. So it will throw an error, key error. So remember, you always remove by the key thing, but you never remove by value. So this is the key concept that you need to know. Okay, now the next method of removal is pop. Okay, So it's pretty simple that what you do. So let's add it again. So let's say cricket info age 38, we have added. Now what we do that D is equal to, for example, cricket. So it's simple that cricket underscore info dot pop. Okay, you'll use this word and then you provide key. For example, let's say I want to provide age, right? And if it does not find the age, what you will do, you will say could not found. Let's say could not find. Okay, so we'll do something like this, and now let's run it. So it because age was there, it popped out value 38 from it. Okay, now if I print, let me do cricket underscore info, so you won't find age value here. So if I just run this, see, age is removed. So these are the two methods which we use to delete any particular thing from a. So let me run this. So GPA, we can get it. So first of all, we need to add, and then we remove any particular pair. So okay, the major we removed earlier, but that's fine. I mean, we need to add that again by going on the top. So that's fine. So that is how you add or remove any element. So you use delete keyword or you use the pop keyword. So d dot pop, and then you provide key, and then you provide the value if missing. If value is missing, it will provide you that thing. So you can try this particular thing on your systems as well. So now I will move ahead with the methods of dictionary. So now we will talk about some of the dictionary methods. So let's talk about methods of dictionary. Right now we know that dictionary is a class, right, and it will have an object. And so what are its methods? So we'll be just walking through few of the methods that are present in dictionary. So for example, there are keys, there are values, and then there are methods. So then there are update. Okay, then there is update, and then there is a word called clear. We can use that clear as well. Okay, so these are the 4 or 5 major words. So let's directly go to the code itself now. So what we do here is okay, so let me create a copy of this. So let me do one thing. Let's go to, yeah, so these are dictionary methods. Okay, now let me create a copy of this. So let me create this student info once again. So if I just, so this is this, so this was my student info. So let's say I do print student underscore info. So let's check what all is present there in student info. So if I run, I have name John, age 20, and major computer science. So the first is keys. So what does key do? Okay, so a key is returns a view of the object of all the keys in the dictionary. For example, there are 3 keys: name, age, and major. So when we use this, so let's say I use this particular thing, it will return me print keys. It will tell me all the keys which are present in the. So if you see dict keys, name, age, and major. So it will return me all the keys which are present in the dictionary. Now there is another keyword, that is values. So what does value? So just like key returns me the key, value will return me the values. So instead of key, if I do values, so let me do values. Now if I do values, it will return me all the values which are present here. So John 20 computer science. Okay, after this comes items. So item returns a view of the object of all the key value pairs. So it is just like returning dictionary. So let me show you. If you do items, it will return you name John. So it will create a tuple. So if you see, it has created a tuple inside this tuple of all the key value pairs. And this is items is very important. Remember this. Items is very important because we can iterate over items now, because this is a tuple, right? So now this is 0, 1, 2, 3. So we can check that thing. Now we can also update the values. For example, what we do, student.update and we updated age to 22. So for example, and then we so let me show you. So let's see, we do this and then we do student_info. So we have updated major to mathematics and age to 22. So it will change here. You see, so it has been changed to major and mathematics. Now comes student and if we use clear, it will clear everything. So if I just use student_info.clear, so it will clear everything. Student_info.clear, so it will clear everything. Now if I print student_info, it will not show me anything. So you see, it's a blank. So these are the basic dictionary methods which are present, which we will be using. These are pretty straightforward, but we need to remember, especially you need to remember these items, because we will be using them in the next part where we iterate over dictionaries, right? So we have to build our dependencies where we need to iterate over certain things. So there it will be used, but this key value update, this thing you need to remember. Okay, now let's move to iteration over dictionaries. So let's move to so this involves little bit of loops. I know we will cover loops in detail in a particular video, but let's talk about iteration. Let's talk about iteration. Let's pick the example from the notebook itself. So let's I don't know where it went, but let me type it down. So let's say I talk about iteration. Okay, so let's talk about the iteration now. If I go to this thing, so what are we doing? So remember when we did keys, so we got so when we do keys, we get a list of keys. For example, let's say we had this. Okay, so when we do keys, so now if I print keys, let's see what comes. Okay, we see a list, right? So there is a list, name, age, major. So it gives me a list. So whenever we use student.keys, it will give me a list of all the keys. So what will happen, that let's say there is a dictionary D, which is like this: K1 1000, K2 2000, and K3 it is 3000. Okay, so when I am doing dot keys, so what is it doing? When I do D dot keys, what it does, it creates a list of all the keys. Okay, K1, K2, K3, it creates a list. Now this list is ordered. Remember, dictionaries are unordered. So if you remember, dictionaries are unordered. But when we do D dot keys, it will create something which becomes ordered. So 0, 1, 2, something like this it will become. And now we can use this to iterate over from this to this to this. So let's see what example we have here. So we want to do for key in student info, print key. So what are we doing here? So let's say I go here. So this is a for loop. We will read about loops in detail, but right now just imagine, just understand that what we are doing, we are when we say for key in student info.keys, so what is happening? So when we say that for key in this, it is, so let me just clear the board. Let me just explain it little bit more. So let's say this is so when we do D dot keys, so what happens? It gives me a list of keys. So K1, K2, K3. Okay, so when we write for keys, so remember this is a keyword. For keys in D dot keys. Okay, so when we write this, so this is a structure of a for loop, that we write a loop like this and we have to put semicolon like this. For keys in this, so keys is not a keyword, we can use any other word. So what it is doing, it is iterating over this. So it will go to key K1 first, then it will go to K2, then it will go to K3. And we write down print keys. So what it will do, so what will happen in backend is that it will pick the first key. So it will take K1. So right, first of all it will take K1. So it will take one by one. So first of all it will take K1, okay, and it will do the step that is mentioned, print. So it has printed K1. So after it has printed, it will go back to the loop again. Now what is after K1? It is K2. So it will pick the K2 and it will do the step again. So it will print K2, and similarly it will print K3. This is how loops are done. Don't worry if you don't understand, but just try to understand the intuition. We will talk about loops in detail. So this is how it is done. That's why we iterate. That's how we iterate on a key. Okay. Now similarly, let's say for values in this print value, let's say I have to run this for value in, so we can get the value as well, and similarly we can print student value as well, key and value as well. So if I just take out this for value in student.values, similar, just like keys was created as a list, similarly here values of these John, 20 and computer science will also be created as values. Now when I run this particular code, it will give me John, 20, computer science, because I am printing only the values. And the last part is iterating over key value pairs. Let's say I want to print all of the elements. So what we will do here, so we'll write for key comma value. So we are iterating both for key comma value in student.items. In items we have list. So remember when we used items, so when we use items, what happens is that we get key value pairs. So when in a dictionary, for example, let's say there was a dictionary K1 1000, K2 2000, K3 3000. Okay, so when we do d.items, so what happens is that it creates a tuple, or you can say a list, where you have K1 and 1000. Okay, then you have, so you have a list like this, then you have K2 2000, and then you have K3, that is 3000. So you have tuples like this, list of tuples like this. Now what we are doing here, we are iterating that for key comma value in d.items. So what we are doing, we are iterating over. So first of all we are iterating here, then we are iterating here, then we are iterating here, and we are printing key comma value. So it is printing key comma value. So when you do this, it will print all the key and values. So I hope this is clear to you. I mean, this requires some understanding of how iterations is done. If you don't understand, don't worry at all. We have a proper session or proper video on loops where I will be covering these things again, and then you will understand it in detail. So that's, I will say that just be little patient, and we will cover these particular concepts. So don't worry about that, I will say. So next up we have nested dictionaries. So I think we did nested list and nested tuples. It is a similar thing only. For example, let me show you what is the structure of a dictionary like this. For example, let's say there is a dictionary like this. Okay, let's say the first keyword is K1. K1 has a value of 20. Okay, now K2. So K2 is not a value itself, it actually is another dictionary in itself. Okay, so let's say this is my dictionary overall. So in K2 we have name. So let's say the name is Pawan. Okay, and then we have so let's say we have age, let's say we have height. this is this is equal to, let's say, 170 centimeters. Okay, this is called a nested dictionary. What is happening here is that your original dictionary has two keywords. So original dictionary has, if you check for keys, it has K1 and K2. Okay, but the values which are present for K2, they are further nested. So it's not like that K2 has a single value. K2 is further a dictionary. So this is called nested dictionary, and this is what we will try to basically how to get values from a nested dictionary. So how will we do that? So remember in the list that we had, for example, in the nested list, what we used to do, we need to provide like D, then 0, then 1, something like this. A similar kind of structure we will follow here. So what we will do, first of all, we will take D. Okay, now remember how to call a value, how to get the value in a dictionary. We'll do K1. So for example, K1, if I do D K1, I will get a value of 20. But that is not I want. Let's say I want to do D of K2. Now when I do D of K2, what will I get? I will so initially I'm here in the outside. When I do D of K2, I will enter this particular dictionary. Now here I can either choose name or height. So let's say I choose name, and when I do this, I will be able to get the value of Pawan. So this is a simple structure, or how do we actually access elements in a nested dictionary. So let's see through an example. Let's say this is my nested dictionary. So let's go here. Let me delete a lot of things here. Okay. So let's say this is my nested dictionary. Okay. Now if I print university, what do I see? Let's see. So if I print university, I am seeing that student, the student key is itself having a dictionary. Okay. This course is key itself is having a dictionary. Okay. So what is this? Two dictionaries are clubbed inside a dictionary. So for example, let's say if I want to access student, what will I do? I will have to do university, and then I will type the name. For example, what is the name of my first key? That is student. So if I do student, I will be able to get into the wait a second, the university spelling is incorrect. Let me just copy it. So okay, so when I did this, I have entered this particular dictionary. Now let's say I want to get age. So what I will do after this, I will pass the value of age. Now I have this dictionary. So now I want to access name or age. Let's say I want to access age. So now age is, because age is character, so I will have to pass it in a character, so inverted quotes. Now I got the value 20. Similarly, let's say I want to get the credits. I want to get the credit value. So what I will do, first of all, I will go to university. So first of all, I will check at the outer key pair. So either I have student or I have course. Okay. So now I see that credits is present in the course. So I will search for course. So COURSE. Now let's see. So I'll constantly check where am I right now. When I run this, again, university is this. Okay. Right. So when I do course, I have entered I have entered this particular key value pair. Now in this I want credits. So what I will do, I will again write down this and type credits and close this, and I have got 3. So this is how I will basically use nested dictionary. If I have to access any element, it is exactly same as nested list or nested tuples or a nested dictionary. Everything remains same. You just need to see what is my outer structure, what is my inner structure. So first of all, you need to go to the outer structure, then pick an element, then you move inside the internal structure, and that's how you proceed. So this is it. If you have any doubt, you can let me know. So I'll move next after this. So now let's come to the last topic, that is dictionary comprehension. Dictionary comprehension. remember we did a list comprehension, right? So what was it in there, that we have x is equal to, like for example, let's say we x for x in range, let's say range 6, we did something like this, and we used to create a list out of this. So for example, if you remember, we did something like this. Let's say we have a p is equal to x for x in range 0 to 6. Okay, and when we print p, we used to get the list of values from the 5s, because we are ranging from 0 to 5, right? So this is what we did. This was called list comprehension. We used to create a list using this method. Similarly, we can create a list using a dictionary using dictionary comprehension as well. So let's look at what it will be exactly. That we will use simply just the same format we are going to use. So it will be D is equal to, correct? So because it will be dictionary, we will use this. Now remember, so the first placeholder is what is the value going to be in your list or dictionary. So for a dictionary, if you remember, there are two things. It is the key and the it is key and the value. Okay, key and value. Then part will remain same. For something, let's say for x in some range, something like this, we'll keep it. So let's explain this through an example. So let us say we have to create a dictionary with we have to print squares in form of a dictionary, right? So we want to print squares. So what we do here, let's come to this. So D is equal to, let me now again remove this particular thing. So we do this like D is equal to, okay, now what we are doing, let's say x, this is my key, and for key I am printing the square. Let's say I am printing the square. Okay, for x in range, now I want 1 to, let's say 6. So I want for numbers 1 to 5, I want to print the dictionary. Now if I print D now, let's see what comes. Okay, see, if I see, I am getting this kind of dictionary comprehension. So this is how we can create a dictionary comprehension to prepare a list. Now for example, let's say I want to get only for even numbers. So what will I do? I will do D is equal to, so first of all I have key value, the key, then I'll provide the value. For example, I want cube, so I will do 3 for x in range 1 to 6. Okay, where x percentage, let's say I want only for even numbers, percentage 2 is equal to 0. I'll put like this, and I'll close this. So what will this give me? This will give me the value for even numbers. So let's check what is coming here. So there is something wrong here. Sorry, it is if, not where. It is it's my mistake. It's if x divided by remainder is 2. So we are getting, for 2 I'm getting 8, and for 4 I'm getting 64, because we are doing cube. So this is how dictionary comprehension is done, right? So it's a simple format, you can use it. So we have used here as well that for x we have created something like this. Now we have created a dictionary from 2 lists. So we have present tool. So I'm skipping this for now because this requires the understanding of for loop. So I don't want to confuse you right now. So just right now focus on this without using for loop. Okay, now move to the practical examples. Let's say in this example we have to count the frequency of elements. I'm skipping even this question right now. We will cover this when we start DSA, or when we start I will say loops, because this concept applies there. Okay, now coming to this merging the 2 dictionaries. So if you see that how to merge 2 dictionaries. So let's say there is a dictionary D1, it has key, value and B, and dictionary do with B and C. So what they have done, they have used this star. So we can use star and you can simply add two dictionaries. So what we are doing here, that take the dictionary 1, add this star and add this star and simply pass a comma and print the merged dictionary. So you will get the resultant dictionary. So this is how it is done. You can you will get this workbook. You can try this thing on your own. For now, skip the question 1 and skip this question number 2 here in the dictionary comprehension, because you won't understand it right now. So I'll cover them separately when I start data structures and when I start the algorithms and when I talk about loops. So we'll cover them. So I'm skipping few topics right now. This is just a basic introduction to dictionary. So with this, I complete the dictionary part of this, right? So we remember. So let's go through what all we did. We studied about creating a dictionary. So creating a dictionary, we can do it. First, we can create an empty dictionary, or we can directly pass a value, or we can simply use a dict keyword to create a dictionary. Now, accessing the dictionary elements, we can access it by key. We have to provide dictionary name, and then we have to provide the name of the key, and through that we can access the element. Or also we can use the get method. When we use the get method, we have to specify if a key is missing, then it will help us. Then modify, we check the modification, then we check the dictionary methods, like there were 4 to 5 methods where dot keys, dot values, dot items, dot update, dot clear. Okay, after that we checked how to iterate over dictionary. This requires some for loop understanding. I explained it, but if you don't understand, that's totally fine. Because we'll be doing this in depth later on. And just understand what a dictionary looks like, what is key, what is value. That's all you should know. Okay, how to like query various things, we will cover them when we start coding actually. When we start coding the problems. Okay, then we did dictionary comprehension, nested dictionary. It is exactly similar to nested list. So it is I think you understood it. First of all, you need to take the outer structure, then you go to the internal structure. Okay, so take the outer structure, then go to the internal structure. Then we did the dictionary comprehension. So I hope you understood something in the dictionaries, right? So this was all about dictionaries, I will say. Now we will move ahead to sets also. So dictionary is a very important. I say out of all the 4 data structure that we are going to use, dictionary is the most important. So you cannot skip it. For now, just understand the basics of it. We will cover them in advance in our live workshops. So again, thanks a lot for watching the video. Please finish up the assignments that I will be sharing today, and comment on our YouTube channel video, or reach out to me if you have any particular question. And please, let's stay motivated. Today is just the 3rd day. We have to be alive for 50 days, right? So don't lose the motivation. If you have any issue, please reach out to us. And thanks a lot for watching this video.